After a devastating war left the country in ruins, Ray Garrity and his mother faced the Long Walk, an annual event run by the military. 50 boys from every state would participate, but falling below the required pace, or stepping off the route, meant certain death. Cameras would capture every moment. Among the participants, Ray was chosen through a lottery and received a letter from the military. His mother became anxious and did not want him to participate. However, Ray reassured her and promised he would come back. After leaving his mother, he joined the other participants and met a boy named Pete. They quickly became friends. Ray tried to talk to Stebbins, but he seemed uninterested. They then met Hank, who was somewhat talkative. Another participant, Art, also introduced himself. Then, the mastermind behind the Long Walk, the Major, appeared. He called each participant by their assigned number, and soldiers gave them their medal tags. The Major addressed the crowd. He explained that after the Great War, their country was still suffering economically. However, the annual Long Walk inspired patriotism and work ethic among the citizens. He felt the main problem was laziness. The event would be broadcast nationwide to increase motivation and help the country become #1 again. He explained that they had to maintain a walking speed of 3 miles per hour, and if they fell below it, they would receive a warning. Warnings expired after 3 hours. After 3 warnings, they would be shot, and if they stepped onto the curb and tried to escape, they would be shot without warning. There was no finish line. The last person remaining would win. The soldiers provided watches to monitor speed. The Major started the race with a gunshot and encouraged them that anyone could win. They were all stars, walking under military vehicles and armed soldiers. Cameras broadcasted their progress nationwide. Ray wondered why there were no spectators. Gary explained that the Major only allowed spectators at the final stage. At first, only locals were permitted along the roadside. Art, Ray, Peter, and Hank quickly formed a friend group. Suddenly, Gary stopped to tie his shoe. He received a warning, and soldiers raised their guns. At the last moment, he got up and continued walking. While walking, they discussed what they would do with the prize money. Ray was not interested in money. He said he was participating voluntarily. Still, all participants registered their names because they were desperate. Even wealthy people did not always bring good fortune. Peter said he would do good things with the money if he won. Harkness appeared, noting everyone's name. He said he would write a book about the Long Walk after winning and become rich. The youngest participant, Curly, suffered cramps and slowed down. Soldiers warned him. Ray helped him and encouraged him to keep walking. He could do it. He walked for a few minutes but eventually sat on the road from pain. Other participants shouted at him to get up, but he could not and was shot. The other participants were shaken by the first elimination. A few miles later, the Major asked them to shout Curly's name as the first martyr. Ray asked a soldier for water. After drinking, he touched the soldier's gun. Peter was surprised. Ray said he just wanted to feel it. One participant had a seizure and fell. Gary laughed, angering Peter. That participant was shot. The walk continued for more than 3 hours. They talked while walking. Ray asked Peter about his scars, but Peter said it was better to walk in silence. Hank also had leg cramps. Others urged him to keep going, and the cramps subsided. Hank's food fell, and he could not pick it up. He said it was his last meal because of allergies. Ray gave him some food. Gary teased a boy named Rank about his mother. Rank tried to punch Gary but missed. Collie cursed Gary, yet he continued teasing. Rank tried again, fell, and was eliminated. This angered the other participants toward Gary. He was shaken and tried to calm himself. Another participant had stomach problems and stopped on the road. Because he slowed, he was shot after 3 warnings. Night fell, and the Major instructed them to prepare for the night. Ray looked at the Major with hatred, which Peter noticed. During the night, Ray dreamed about his mother and began to slow down. Peter woke him, but he was still sleepy and fell, receiving his final warning. Peter reassured him. After 3 hours, the warnings expired. Ray was tense and shouted at Peter to be quiet. Peter said that like everyone else, he also wanted Ray dead and went ahead. Ray noticed the road would go uphill. Stebbins said Ray would be eliminated here. As the incline began, many participants were shot. Harkness twisted his ankle but continued. Soldiers aimed at Ray and Gary, giving their last warning. Ray was tense and almost slowed, but Peter held him. He walked with Peter, who encouraged him. Peter splashed water on him. Together, they survived the uphill section. Ray apologized for earlier behavior, but Peter said it was fine. The next morning, they talked to stay awake. Peter asked if Ray thought he could win. Ray said he had to win. Peter doubted after the chaos of the previous night. The walk continued. Peter checked on Hank, who was weakening. Harkness survived with a broken ankle but eventually fell and was eliminated. This angered Ray. Stebbins said he could not win if too emotional, but Peter silenced him. They had walked 100 miles and reached a small town. One boy tried to run into a store but was shot. The participants were anxious. They discussed wishes if they won. Art said he would go meet a man. Hank said he would wish for 10 naked women. Others laughed. Peter said he had a wish before but now wanted 2 winners so someone could finish it with a friend. Ray liked the idea. Hank said wishes might not be granted because they changed the rules. Peter said it was worth trying. Ray did not reveal his wish to avoid jinxing it. He only wanted small internal changes to the long walk system. Gary tried to speak, but Peter scolded him, calling him a murderer. Peter agreed, and together they cursed the long walk. Music played, and that night Peter and Ray walked shoulder to shoulder, taking turns resting. The next morning, Ray was sleepy. He played with a ball with Peter. Art stopped to relieve himself on the road, getting a warning. He continued walking without cleaning. Peter asked Ray privately about his wish. Ray said his father taught him about tire material, but one day the military, led by Major Berger, came into their house. They were taken outside, and the major ordered his father to pledge allegiance to the state and set an example for his son, or he would be deactivated. His father stood firm and said he would not comply. He told his son, "Never forget who you are," before being shot. He spoke his final words and then shot the major to take his revenge. Peter said killing a person was not easy. He had killed deer and knew how difficult that was. So killing a man would be harder. Ray said some people can kill easily. He said those who cannot see the beauty in this world, the trees, the sky, and this moment of friendship, would never appreciate it. Ray said it was beautiful, but that did not change the fact he was going to shoot him. Peter asked if his mother knew. Ray got angry and said to keep her out of it. Peter said that if he killed him, they would shoot him. Ray said he didn't know if he would win, it was uncharted territory. Who knows what would happen? He tried to explain that there is always something to be grateful for. One participant was injured in the leg. He tried to climb onto a tank, but a soldier pushed him, and he fell as the tank ran over his leg. After a few minutes, he was eliminated. Another ran ahead, took off his clothes, went off the road, and was shot. Night fell. Stebbins approached Ray and asked if he was tired. He replied yes, but Stebbins said he wasn't as exhausted as Hank, who he thought would give up soon. Ray went to Hank and tried to help, but Hank stopped and walked toward the tank. He tried to grab the gun but was shot. He tried again after 3 warnings, but the soldiers didn't shoot him. Art ran toward him despite others telling him not to. Stebbins said they would let him bleed to death as a warning. Art hugged him, but Ray ran over, grabbed Art, and pulled him away. Hank called out, and Ray said he was already dead. On the 4th day, the walk continued with 6 remaining. Coley told the others that Hank was the only married man and suggested a pact, whoever won would do something for Hank's widow. Everyone agreed. Peter asked Stebbins if he was in. He said yes, though he looked sick. He hadn't been ill for 18 years, but now, at the most important moment, he was. Gary became tense and approached Ray, asking why he wasn't invited. He wanted to join the pact. Ray said he was included. Gary felt guilty over Rank's death, which he hadn't meant to cause. Ray reassured him, saying it was okay, they were friends. Peter became angry while speaking and yelled that he hadn't meant to kill him. Ray calmed him, but this made Gary tense, and he moved forward. Suddenly, he stopped and slashed his throat. They walked past him. The others were horrified, and soldiers shot him dead. Night fell, and they cheered, dancing as they walked. The next morning, they reached Ray's hometown. His shoe sole came off, and the others told him to walk barefoot. He did. His mother was waiting, overjoyed to see him alive. At first, he waved, then ran to hug her, but she told him to step back. Peter tried to pull him away as a soldier aimed at him. Ray forced himself to keep walking. His mother shouted, "It's okay." He said not to do that in front of her. Others were angry at his stunt. He said he was doing what his father had done when leaving his mother. Peter said he had only been walking 5 days. He had been walking his whole life. Both parents died in the Great War. His drunk uncle who took him and used to beat him. After his uncle died, he met others like him. He fought everyone until he fought the wrong person, who cut him. He was left to die but woke in a hospital. He wasn't angry, feeling it was his fault. He had always chosen darkness, fighting and stealing, so he decided to seek the light. In this race, he found a brother like him. Stebbins said they should make a pact. From now on, they were on their own. No one saves anyone. Peter was angry, but Ray agreed. Art also agreed when they noticed he was bleeding from the nose. They asked Holy if he was in, but he ran toward a soldier, took his gun, shot the soldier, and was then shot by another. He bled to death, then shot himself in the throat. Night almost fell, but Art couldn't continue. He was too sick from a nosebleed. Others helped him, but he said he wanted to go home. He asked them not to watch when he was shot. He stood still, and the soldiers shot him. That night, the major lectured them. They shouted at him to shut up. He replied it was the spirit. Stebbins and Ray received warnings for slowing down. Ray asked what would happen if they stopped at the same time. Stebbins said it would be measured scientifically. Ray asked how he knew so much about the long walk. Stebbins said he had read all the records. Peter told him to say something. They reached the end. Stebbins revealed that the major was his father. He was among many illegitimate sons, and if he won, he would wish to be accepted as his son, but it seemed impossible. He told them to keep walking because soon there would be a crowd when only 2 remained. They would watch the final killing by the major. He said he was glad one would make it. It was an honor to walk with them. He then stopped and was eliminated. 2 carried him, and the crowd cheered. They walked through the crowd as Peter stopped, saying this was his finish line. He deserved to win. But Ray forced him to get up and said he didn't need to do this. He told him to walk a few more minutes. Ray said he deserved to win, then stopped. Soldiers shot him. Peter ran to him, crying, "Why did you do that?" Soldiers took him away. The major pointed a gun at him, congratulated him, then shot him. As the crowd cheered, the major congratulated him. Peter saw fireworks in the sky and on the ground. He was already dead. The major asked for his wish. He asked for the gun. The major ordered soldiers to give it and aimed it at himself. Other soldiers aimed at him, but the major told them to stand down. He then said everything would be forgotten if he lowered the gun. He was the winner. He should celebrate the huge cash prize waiting for him. But he shot the major and defeated him. He looked at the empty, silent street and continued walking, and with that the story ends here.